Welcome to Spirits Podcast, a boozy dive into mythology, legends, and folklore. Every week we pour a drink and learn about a new story from around the world. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Julia.
And this is episode 135, Myth Movie Night, Krampus.
Yeah, I know we've done Krampus before as a regular episode, but the Krampus movie is so interesting and bizarrely good in ways I can't really describe that I felt like it was such a good choice to do. And also Christmas in July.
Yeah, which is a great drink that I talk about in the episode, and I actually really enjoyed it. So we spent the first little bit of the episode talking about the movie itself and the plot and kind of how it moves along, and then getting into the mythology of it. So I felt like it was a great refresher on my Krampus mythology and just a really enjoyable time. I definitely recommend it for like a sort of dissonant like beach night. I feel like you're having Australian Christmas, where it's like hot outside.
I like it. I'm into it. I like summer Christmas. I'm a big fan because like sparkly lights, but also palm trees.
Yeah, it's the best.
What's not to love?
Do you know who I would invite to our sparkly light palm tree cocktail hour?
I believe it would be our new patrons.
Our new patrons, Sarah, Rika, Amy, and Sarah G.
Yes, thank you guys so much. We're so excited for you to join in for our little team.
And with unlimited drink tickets at all of the Spirits Happy Hours, our supporting producer-level patrons, Philip, Eeyore, Skyla, Christy, Mercedes, Samantha, Danica, Marissa, Sammy, Josie, Neil, Jessica, and Phil Fresh. And our legend-level patrons, Julia, don't even need to order their own drinks. They're just brought to them. Cody, Mr. Folk, Haley, James, Sarah, Sandra, Audra, and Jack Marie.
Yeah, they just kind of get behind the bar and start making their own cocktails. And the bartender's like, damn, those are some skills.
It's like in a TV show or movie where the bartender just inexplicably like gives the bottle to the patron, which I'm pretty sure is completely illegal. It's like that.
Now you could have like bottle service, I think, and stuff like that at clubs. I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know. I'm thinking like in Lost Girl, where they just roll up to the bar and they like give the bartender a beleaguered like wave, and then he just like puts the bottle in front of them in a shot glass. Like, how do you keep track of how many drinks they drink?
I mean, I guess if they pay for the whole bottle, I don't know. This is redundant.
In any case, Julia, remind us what we were drinking during this episode.
So we had some really, really nice beer sent to us from the fine folks at Harmony Brewing. One of the first ones, I think we pre-gamed with the Gritty and Pink, which was a Berliner Weiss with like blueberry and hibiscus. It was really light and refreshing, but also tart at the same time. And then during the episode, we rocked out to the Smarty Pants, which is their traditional goza, which also had an added punch of strawberry to it. So thank you, Jackson. You're the bomb.com. We really, really enjoyed the beer.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was absolutely delicious. Oh, and Julie, that reminds me, the sort of like beautiful, like reddish pink color of that Smarty Pants with strawberry reminded me of the cover of the book that I'm recommending this week.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it.
It is Red, White, and Royal Blue. Now, the internet knows about this book. Do you know anything about it?
I know nothing about it. Please tell me more.
So you probably will recognize it from book Twitter if you're in book Twitter, but it is a lovely, so almost like YA feeling book, by which I mean it's like lovely. It's about like people's emotions. It's not about like angst and affairs. It's just about like a pure story of two boys fallen in love. But it's like an adult fiction book, and it's about the first son of the United States and like a Prince Harry type of England. I cannot tell you how much I enjoyed this book. I devoured it in like 12 hours. Like I'm not even joking. I wish this author had more out, but yeah, this is by Casey McQuiston, and I wish she had written like 4,000 books because I would read them all. But it's Red, White, and Royal Blue. I bet your library has a bunch of copies. It was absolutely fucking delightful.
That sounds so incredible. I need to buy that right now.
Also, Casey McQuiston's bio that I'm reading right now on Goodreads says, Casey grew up in the swamps of southern Louisiana. Great start, where she cultivated an abiding love for honey butter biscuits and stories with big beating hearts.
Oh my God, Casey, my favorite person now.
Yeah, so this is Casey's only book so far that I can see, and I would just love to respectfully request that she write 14 more.
That's absolutely fair and valid. And as much as we are gushing over Casey's work, why don't you gush about spirits to some of your family members and friends? Spread the word at beach trips, family barbecues, maybe a weekend by the lake, whatever you got planned for the summer. Tell some people about spirits.
Absolutely. We don't pay to advertise the show. This is the way that we grow. And it would mean so much to us to have more conspirators on board as we reach episode 150 and beyond. So listen, text a friend, open up their Spotify, or if they listen to podcasts, their podcast app, and show them how to listen. Pick out an episode for them to start with. It's really lovely to recommend a show to somebody, not just the show in general, but an episode that you think they would enjoy.
Yes, please do. I know that there's people out there that love things that are creepy and also cool.
So thank you, everybody who's recommended us so far. And if you're going on a trip this long weekend, we hope you enjoy and bring spirits along with you. So without further ado, enjoy episode 135, Myth Movie Night, Krampus.
Amanda, we've gotten through one whole big can. How big are these cans?
A crowler.
Yes.
It's like 32 ounces, I think.
32 ounces.
That's like half a gallon.
Yeah. Wow. We drank half a gallon of beer so far.
We have.
From Harmony Brewing Company. Thank you again. We really appreciate what you sent over. We're currently drinking the Pretty in Pink. We had, what was the other one that we had before?
We had a strawberry something?
Strawberry Goza, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was delicious. We drank it all. But now we're drinking the Pretty in Pink. And we're going to talk about a movie that we watched.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jackson, for sending us the beer. That was really lovely of you.
Yes, it was wonderful, and it's very refreshing. It doesn't quite fit our movie choice for this week.
It does, Julia, because Christmas is red and green, and today we are drinking a beer that's a lovely pink because it's like Christmas but different because it's July.
Yes,
and much like Saint Nicholas but different is the scary, scary figure of Krampus. That's what we're going to discuss today.
Yeah, I picked Krampus because I like the idea of Christmas in July. It appeals to me quite a bit.
And I was going to make us Christmases in July, Christmas in July, which is Eric Silver's favorite drink of lemonade with whiskey and maple syrup. Ooh. It's freaking delicious.
That sounds delightful.
But instead we had beer from a listener, so we had to prioritize that.
But I will make a Christmas in July recipe card for our patrons later on. So Amanda, the first thing I wanted to say was when I searched for Krampus, 2 other movies came up, which was Krampus Unleashed and also Mother Krampus.
What's that one about?
I don't know. I just looked at it. It was a scary old crone with some horns, and I was into it, but I had to press on, and we did the 2015 Krampus instead.
Yes, it feels like moments ago and also so far away.
Yeah, God, it's been so long.
I was relieved to see that this movie is a tight 90.
Your favorite thing.
My favorite thing. I greatly appreciate it. I did also notice that it's much more fun not at Christmas to watch Christmas movies.
Yes, it is.
I have never been like a non-seasonal Christmas movie watcher, but it was nice and like, oh yeah, remember that time? Instead of being constantly around you at all times. Because this movie opens up with a really lovely like slow-mo montage of, I guess, just like a mall Christmas activity.
Just the horror of shopping during Christmas time.
It's horrible. It's horrifying. It was really excellent. And I was like, wait, is this going to be a good movie? Maybe?
Surprise. It is that montage over It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like Christmas, which I love slow, horrifying montages over very cheerful songs. It's one of my favorite things in the world.
Yeah, it was incredibly evocative and really set up this idea of being like a bad holiday,
a bad
family time.
Yes. And the montage ties directly into the children fighting at the Christmas pageant, which introduces our family characters.
Sure does.
Family of characters. That's what I meant to say. This beer is very good. So we cut to a old movie version of The Christmas Carol where they're talking about how they're going to be visited by spirits in the night.
Yeah, and what a good like referential Christmas movie thing.
Mm-hmm. And then we also see our old German grandma Omi making cookies in the kitchen.
Yes, I was like, oh, excellent. Here is the Krampus angle. We have Grandma Prophecies. She speaks only in German. She has some kind of either rivalry or miscommunication with her daughter-in-law. This is excellent. We're really setting up for a lot of plot here.
Toni Collette plays the daughter-in-law and the mother in this. And oh, God, she's so fantastic. She's so good in horror movies.
Yeah, she really is.
And to kind of look at this performance and then know that she did Hereditary 4 years later or 3 years later is wild. Absolutely wild. But basically we kind of get the gist that the family is not into the quote unquote true meaning of Christmas, which I love that being a plot point in all Christmas movies. Even though we don't talk about Jesus at all. We barely talk about Jesus in this film. But it is what it is. And the only people who know the true meaning of Christmas are the younger son Max and the grandma Omi.
I'm here for the Max Omi friendship. It's very pure.
Yes. And so Max and Omi kind of have a conversation about, you know, whether or not he still believes, which he does. And he asks his grandmother if she believes. And she says, I believe St. Nicholas is what you make of him. I'm like, and then she talks about giving and sacrifice and the sacrifice of giving. I'm like, oh
yeah,
boy, here we go.
Extreme. It's very good.
Getting real dark. I like it. I also appreciate that most of the family members either understand German or speak German to the grandma.
Yeah.
That is really, really nice. And I like the idea of families perpetuating like their culture and stuff like that.
There was a lot of like grandma speaking and then the kids like responding back in English, which I know is often how it happens. But I was also like, oh yeah, these poor kids didn't want to memorize a ton of lines in German.
Yeah, I understand. I get it. You don't want to teach small children German. I understand.
Yeah. And we spent a lot of time from there on the sort of like family dynamic as it unfolds, as the mom's sister and her family come to visit. A bunch of really good performances here. Like they are really enacting the like horrible, you know, extended family here for the holidays who you don't really actually care about, as Adam Scott says. Like, we're related, we have to deal with it. That's kind of how it is.
Yeah, basically. The daughter is upstairs Skyping her boyfriend who is like, I'm going to smoke some weed for Christmas.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you're going to die then. Sorry. That's just how it works. You can't smoke weed in a horror movie and not die.
I guess.
I mean, it's fucked up, but it is what it is. So, like you said, the relatives alive. Classically, everyone hates everyone. There's mentions of guns, which, of course, that means Chekhov's guns. Those guns have to be used at some point in the film.
True.
Actually, much sooner than I thought they were.
Yeah, I was sort of fixated on like the weird, like socio-political, like indications that are happening. Like the mom's sister is like mad that they're richer, but there is a lot of like resentment and fighting that's set up this early in the film. And actually a ton of that doesn't really come to pass. Like we don't get a ton of closure on a lot of these like open loops, but we're setting up that this is a conflict-filled holiday and poor Max just wants it to be like it used to be.
Yes, that is the key. Max really wants it to be like it used to be, and he asks Santa for it.
Yes.
And at the dinner table, one of the cousins steals his letter to Santa and reads it aloud and embarrasses him, and they get into a fight. Yep. Meanwhile, Toni Collette is angrily bruleeing, which is such a mood. The kitchen.
It's extremely good.
I'm just like, wow, yeah, that's right. That's so right.
Yeah, and her like auntie comes, who is very much like a what is her name in Harry Potter? The aunt who comes to visit.
Oh, Aunt
Vernon's
Marge.
sister, Aunt Marge. Very Aunt Marge type of figure.
Yeah, the actress who plays her has been in a lot of like Adam Sandler movies and stuff like that. I'm trying to remember. Mr. Deeds, I think, was the one that she was in. And
big when we were in high school.
Very, very good movie.
Yeah,
good movie in the fact that it's an Adam Sandler movie, and you know what you're getting with that. So Max is extremely upset. He's crying and locks himself into his room, and he ends up tearing his letter to Santa and tossing it out the window. And I go, oh no, Max, that's how you summon him.
I said, don't litter, but also summon Krampus.
Summon Krampus.
Because we see the letters like, get on, like the little pieces go on the wind and they get moved away. And then it starts to snow. It starts to really, really snow. And suddenly the next morning, Max opens his eyes and it's like blanketed, blizzard outside. And there is an extremely scary random snowman
Very creepy.
In the yard.
And he tries to point it out to the adults and they're just like, it's a snowman, dude. All right, whatever.
I know, but like it's in the yard where no one else should have met a snowman, and clearly like evil is afoot.
Yeah. Also, the power has gone out in the house, and I made a comment where it was like, Toni Collette, good thing you have so many candles.
So many candles. I thought that too. Like I was thinking, like, how many do I have on hand? How many hours can I make it?
Yes, but her house looks like it's out of like Better Home Than Gardens.
It really does. I also have a lantern with batteries, so
we'll see. You're smart. Toni Collette just bought those because they look nice and probably smell nice, and once they had to light them all, it probably smelled like crazy in there.
Like a cacophony of scents.
Your allergies would have been a mess.
Oh, very bad. Also, there was a dog there unexpectedly.
There was. The family, the relatives brought their dog, which is kind of a plot point later, a little bit.
Rosie?
Yeah. Which is Jake's old dog's name, which I was like, oh no, poor babe.
Which I was actually surprised a little bit. I as the sort of movie takes a darker turn here and we start to talk about it, I was really not expecting what is the level of violence we're going to get? Are there going to be deaths? Are there going to be like on-screen violence? Because I didn't have a good sense of the genre of the movie. So in a way that was nice because it kind of kept me guessing. I will say straight up, I had a good time watching this movie. Yeah. I wouldn't necessarily call it a good movie, but I did have a good time.
It's not like a fantastic horror movie, but it is entertaining to say the least.
It is.
So there's a delivery man who brings some
DHL
packages.
Product placement, baby.
Very good. And so he delivers some packages, and they notice, oh, there's a big, like, red bag
Sack of stuff.
Let's just drag it inside and wrap them like regular presents, or they were already wrapped presents. Either way, doesn't matter.
Suspicious. And also
Bad.
no one investigates it.
Yeah, no, the sister-in-law signs for it, and she just assumes it's like, oh, look, they got more packages right before Christmas.
Yeah,
like,
some economic drama happening in this family.
the daughter leaves to go check on her boyfriend because he
No.
only lives 4 blocks
No.
away. Don't let your daughter leave in the middle of a blizzard.
It's a blizzard.
Bad.
Don't do it.
Omi in the background has been kind of like by the fireplace, and Toni Collette yells at Max and is like, hey, go check on Omi to make sure she doesn't like burn herself. But then Omi turns around and she's made hot chocolate for everyone because hot chocolate makes everything better. She's Remus Lupin.
It was an extremely, that's very good. It was an extremely like dramatic shot as if we're going to see her turn around with like a fire poker in her hand, but it was hot chocolate and it made me laugh. But then it breaks bad.
It breaks bad because the daughter walking out, it gets very, very dark in the blizzard, and all of a sudden she sees Krampus on the rooftops and she runs for it, but Krampus follows her. She dives under the DHL delivery truck, which is spun out, and she sees the guy frozen in his seat.
Yeah, so like what's the deal here? Was he scared to death? Did he get frozen to death?
I think he was frozen to death, but also very scared.
Yeah, he was like open-eyed, like mouth agape in horror.
Yes. Like he was petrified.
I know.
The daughter hides under the truck. She sees Krampus's hooves. There's also, you can hear the jingling of bells, but it's because he has chains wrapped around his body that also have bells on them, which is accurate to the mythology. We'll talk about at the end how accurate this version of Krampus is.
Yes.
But has the chains with the bells. Daughter is attacked by a creepy Jack-in-the-Box after Krampus leaves.
I was looking for that word because I was like, wow, he left a creepy music box behind. Oh no, the music box opened. What could this be?
It's a Jack-in-the-Box.
Yeah. Yep, there it is.
And then they cut after her being attacked to another creepy snowman in the yard.
Yes. Oh no.
Who could it be? What could it be?
Well, like she's fully attacked. It seems like it ate her.
Yeah.
It extremely, extremely broke bad. And I was very surprised. I like yelped out loud in my living room.
Yeah, no, it was very scary. And we see the Jack-in-the-Box appear later too.
That's true.
Omi gives kind of a cryptic message to them being like, don't let the fire go out, which is very important. Listen to your elders when they warn you about things,
Also,
even if
don't
they're
let the
super
fire go
cryptic.
out.
Just don't do that.
First rule of Survivor.
The men of the house decide to go out in the Hummer. Oh God, who has Hummers anymore?
Yeah, and like that must have been a Hummer product placement, right?
Yes.
Even in 2015, Hummers were passe.
Yeah, no, they're bad. So they run into a snowplow that's blocking the road, but nothing's inside but presents, and they see that the window has been broken in instead of
from the
guy,
outside.
Yeah, instead of the guy flying out because he wasn't wearing a seatbelt or something like that. Back at the house, there are these creepy pattering footsteps upstairs and a big bang. Omi looks super worried as hell.
Yeah.
Toni Collette says, it's probably just squirrels.
And like knowing what Omi has been through, as we do
Omi.
later in the film, why wasn't she more frightened? Like clearly she knows what's about to happen.
I don't know. I think she was hoping that maybe she
Accepts
could
her fate.
avoid it.
Yeah.
Maybe if she kept the fire lit, she could help protect the family.
Well, maybe she could have.
Yeah. Oh, Omi, I'm sorry. They go into the boyfriend's house because
Dumb.
they figure maybe our daughter's in there.
I mean, maybe by this horror movie logic, the fact that she wanted to go have sex at her boyfriend's house means that she has to die.
Yeah, that's probably true. They go in and there's a bunch of they find a gingerbread man stabbed on the fridge. And at this point, I'm just like, just be wary of all Christmas things. At this point, just do it.
Yeah.
Please. I beg of you.
Christmas, scary. Sacks of gifts, scary. Gingerbread men, scary.
The whole scene in the boyfriend's house reminded me of the scene in The Thing where they go to a Norwegian... Have you seen The Thing?
No.
Okay. So basically it's this idea that this alien can look like other people, and at the beginning of the film, it's in the shape of a dog that's being chased down by these Norwegian people, and the Norwegians die, and so they go to investigate the Norwegian hub, the science hub that they came from, and it's just a hot mess, and you realize afterwards what all the things happened. It's like foreshadowing for all the things that would happen to them.
Yeah.
And that's what this felt like with the stabbed gingerbread man and the fireplace that's all messed up. And yeah,
very much. It's like a glimpse into 24 hours in the future.
Mm-hmm. As they're heading back from the boyfriend's house, Howard is the brother-in-law. He gets attacked by something in the snow, but Adam Scott shoots at it. And they head back to the Hummer, but the Hummer's been destroyed.
No.
Like, just completely fucked up.
No.
Like, there is no way they're going to be able to drive it at all. So they get back to the house. Tommy, Adam Scott, tells them to kind of like stay quiet. He doesn't want everyone to be in a panic. And he makes some comment to be like, oh, my leg must have gotten caught in a bear trap underneath the snow. And Max is like, there's no bears around here. What the fuck?
Also, I don't know where it is. I figured it was LA, just making an assumption, but it is extreme snowy. So it's probably not.
Snowy.
Probably Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago suburbs maybe, or like New York, like Westchester or something like that.
I don't know.
It feels right. Hudson Valley.
Maybe so. I just watched Blockers and I was like, oh, it's all the LA people in their LA homes. And then, oh, nope, it's just in Chicago for some reason.
Blockers was really good.
Yeah, I enjoyed
I really
that.
liked that movie. John Cena, surprisingly good actor sometimes.
It was a perfect Netflix movie, which is how I watched it.
It was very good. Tommy makes a comment about how Omi always gets a little weird around Christmas time, but we find out why later.
No.
Really appreciate it. It's really just setting all of the building blocks to Omi's mysterious backstory. So the family decides that they're going to take shifts and go to sleep. No one pays attention to the fireplace.
It went out, Julia.
The fireplace goes out. And from the fireplace, a hook drops down with a gingerbread man attached to it.
Horrible.
It's
horrifying.
very bad.
I hate it.
And of course, one of the children, not any of the main family's children, but the cousins, one of the cousins wakes up, notices it, grabs the gingerbread man, bites it. The gingerbread man comes to life, wraps him in the chains, and pulls him up the chimney, knocking a log into the tree and lighting it on fire in the process. And Toni Collette grabs the child's legs and tries to keep him there, and they're all getting pulled up the fire. It's a hot mess.
Yeah, it's also extremely scary. Like, this kid's getting kidnapped. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's very bad.
And you kind of hear the daughter's voice in snatches. So I was thinking like, okay, maybe she is alive. Like maybe she's around. Like they heard it when they were in the house of the boyfriend. Yeah. But it seems like things are extremely going badly. And I was thinking like,
bad.
oh my God, the property damage to this home. Like what's going to happen? How are they going to recover? Where is our like happy ending going to be?
There are more important things at stake.
There sure are.
I'm sure they have insurance for Krampus. It'll be fine. It's all good.
So tell me about this gingerbread man devil. Is there like any kind of backing about gingerbread men coming to life, or is this like a Christmas movie situation?
I think it's a Christmas movie situation because a lot of this movie has to talk about the kind of, I don't want to say gentrification of Christmas, but the commercialization of Christmas.
Right.
And kind of going away from the sacrifice of giving, like Omi says. And she makes a comment later on that Krampus is a much darker, older version of St. Nicholas. So the fact that this kind of story predates our understanding of what like commercial Christmas is.
Right.
But I think that the Krampus story adapts in order to lure people in. So I like the interpretation of that for sure. But as I understand it, there are no evil, manipulative gingerbread man in the original Krampus story.
Well, we are about to learn a whole lot about Krampus and his backstory and why the hell Omi knows so much about him. But first, Jules, I am going to need a refill.
Sounds good. Let's go.
Jules, we are sponsored this week by Skillshare, and you know that we love Skillshare. We love learning new things, but did you know it can also teach you stuff about things that you already thought you were an expert in?
No, tell me more about that.
Yeah, well, I have been using Evernote, which is like a sort of like web bookmarking and clipping and like saving service. You can save like recipes or just notes of like stuff that you would write down during the day. You can save whole web pages. Like I save whole fics to Evernote so I can read the text of them later. And this week on Skillshare, I took a class called Productivity with Evernote with Lindsey C. Holmes, who's like a business and productivity consultant. And I learned so many things that I have not been doing in Evernote. Again, I've been a user for like 10 years and I didn't know some of the tricks that she had to teach me. It was awesome.
That sounds incredible. I mean, learning something new about the thing you already knew a bunch about, that is awesome.
Absolutely. And that is what Skillshare is all about. They're an online learning community for creators with over 25,000 classes on things that'll fuel your curiosity, your creativity, and your career. And you can get 2 free months of Skillshare Premium, which gives you access to all of the classes that they have on the site at Skillshare.com/spirits2. That's spirits and the number 2. Skillshare.com/spirits2 for 2 free months of Skillshare Premium.
Amanda, how have you been sleeping lately?
Not bad, except when I was visiting Long Island over the weekend for your bridal shower, which is completely lovely, and stayed with my brother in a lovely apartment that they have under their house that their roommate has. And then he was away for the weekend, so he let us stay there. And there were just so many noises of birds. There were so many birds. It was like I was in an aviary at a zoo, and I did not know that many birds could descend on one place at one time. So apart from that, I've been sleeping okay because, and this is true, I use Calm.
Yeah, and you know what? So 1 in 3 U.S. adults doesn't get enough sleep. And the best part about Calm is they are here as the #1 app for sleep. If you need help sleeping, Calm is the app to get for it. So sleep deficiency, as we all know, can cause some serious damage. It can mess with your brain. It can also mess with your body. You're more prone to accidents. You're more prone to depression and stuff like that when you just don't get enough sleep. So with Calm, you'll discover a whole library of programs designed to help you get the sleep that your brain and your body needs. So soundscapes and hundreds of sleep stories narrated by soothing voices like Stephen Fry. We always talk about that Stephen Fry lavender story. It's so good. And it probably would have helped you, Amanda, knock out those sweet, sweet bird sounds that were keeping you awake.
It's true, but I lost my phone charger and I couldn't use Calm. If I did, I bet I would have gotten to sleep a little bit sooner. So listeners right now can get 25% off a Calm Premium subscription, which both of us pay for with our human dollars because we love it so much, at calm.com/spirits.
Yep, again, that's calm.com/spirits. 40 million people have downloaded Calm. Find out why today at calm.com/spirits.
And finally, Jules, we are sponsored this week by someone new, by Simple Contacts. I recently had to go through the experience of renewing my glasses prescription and my antibiotic and my mental health medication in the same week and spent so much time on the phone. And I hate it so much. I had to visit 3 different pharmacies. It's the worst. But Simple Contacts was designed to avoid this problem in particular for people who wear contacts. They are a website where you can go to take a self-guided vision test to just confirm that your prescription is still accurate and make sure you're still seeing 20/20 with the prescription that you're given.
Yeah, this isn't to replace your periodic full eye health exam. Keep going to those.
Exactly. But to renew your prescription and get more contacts, it is super simple. It doesn't require a phone, a doctor. It's just your internet connection and 5 minutes of your time. They have all kinds of brands and types of lenses if you have something special. They have a 5-star experience. They are rated 5 stars in the App Store over 5,000 times. And I know that I always read reviews before trying a new thing. And it's also really reliable. It's designed by ophthalmologists, and a licensed doctor reviews every single test that users take. So you can skip the office visit, but not the care.
Yeah, I know I don't personally use contacts, but Jake does. And I've seen him spend hours on the phone trying to get his contact renewed. And it seems like such a pain.
So the good news is that listeners can get $20 off your contacts at simplecontacts.com/spirits20, or just enter the code spirits20 at checkout.
Again, that is simplecontacts.com/spirits20 or the promo code spirits20 at checkout.
Thank you, Simple Contacts. Now, let's get back to the show.
So Omi stops and tells them all, it's all our faults. Because, that's not menacing at all. Thanks, Omi. Really encouraging. So there's a cool animated flashback.
Animated expository flashback sequence!
It was very good.
Very Deathly Hallows.
It's basically Omi lived in some sort of implied German, maybe East German.
I figured it was East-West Germany, East-West Berlin type thing.
Yeah. That's what I figured as well. And she talks about how the people of her town had forgotten the spirit of Christmas and the sacrifice of giving. Again, we're hitting those same notes over and over again.
I don't know what that means.
It's
repentance?
No, I think it's the idea. What's the dumb thing where it's I cut my hair to buy you this thing?
Gift of the Magi.
Yeah, gift of the Magi style.
I see. I don't think that's good though.
But people like to talk about that. I don't know. I don't have very strong feelings about it either way.
I know. I was just kind of I understand if this is at its core religious, but I guess they needed to find a secular reason to have some kind of heart of Christmas that we're getting away from, which is just sort of invented. Yep. And it's supposed to be about I guess generosity and kindness to family and things like that. But I was just kind of I don't know what you're supposed to be sacrificing or repenting for. But the idea is that, exactly like you're saying, Krampus is here. There's just so many choice quotes. Do you want me to share some for you?
Just establishing Omi accidentally summoned Krampus when she was a small child.
Yes.
And I have a quote, much darker, more ancient spirit. Love
exactly. It. He's the shadow of St. Nicholas. Whew. He came not to reward, but to punish. Not to give, but to take. He and his helpers.
And so we clearly are setting up to find out about more helpers.
Yes.
Which I appreciate.
And he fully dragged her family into the underworld. Like, Omi became an orphan because she was like, hi, I need help.
That's kind of fucked up.
It's super fucked up.
She probably grew up in an orphanage. That's so sad.
Yeah.
That.
Her one doll was like cast into the flames.
That's true. But she did cast it herself into the flames.
Yeah.
They tore it and then she's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
And then her parents got stolen. That's bad. It sucks.
It super sucks.
She also reveals the mysterious creepy bell that has Krampus's name on it. Howard doesn't believe any of it, of course, because why would he?
Yeah, Howard is just here to shoot his gun and be manly.
Seth Green played one of the fucking gingerbread men.
That's funny.
This is really funny. Sorry, I was just looking at the cast list because I had a thing coming up, and I was like, what?
And Omi's a German movie star, but nothing that I have seen.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Go Omi. Fucking crushed it. She was a great actor.
She was.
I really liked it.
Yeah.
Creepy bells revealed, creepy creatures running around, and more scary snowmen outside. Next day is Christmas Eve.
Yeah, and this is full like action horror movie time now where they're just like fending off attackers from within and without.
Yeah, so we start with the sister, Toni Collette's sister, is looking through presents and
who I love. That woman she was in Fargo.
Yes,
Yeah.
she was. I forgot what she was in, but she's excellent. So she is looking through presents up in the attic and hears something creepy, but is called downstairs to kind of plan the escape that they're going to make.
Yeah. Alison Coleman. She's so good.
There is a creepy voice that is coming from upstairs, and I'm just like, oh my God, please do not follow the creepy voice, no matter how much it sounds like your relatives. Don't do it.
I mean, they do, obviously, and I was like, don't go into the creepy attic. Oh, it's so bad. And I didn't do you think it was like very cold and frost covered? Was it dusty? I didn't really understand. I guess just sort of frosty because it's cold in the house.
Yeah, it's anywhere not near the fire just gets very cold because we see their breath kind of fog up when the fire goes out the night before.
But it's the most ominous attic maybe I have seen on film.
It's very bad.
Yeah, like it's all kind of lit in blue, and we're really going full like put a blue filter over the camera because it is like that kind of horror movie now.
Yeah, so the twins are attacked by the Jack-in-the-Box, which is so creepy. It was very, very good. Good practical effects. It was excellent. In the kitchen, Howard is attacked by gingerbread men from earlier, the same one that came down on the thing, plus two other ones. Like I said before, Seth Green plays one of them. Very weird. Not a fan. And then the sister, Toni Collette, and Adam Scott all head to the attic to try and find the twins.
Scary and bad.
And Toni Collette is attacked by a cherub angel kind of thing.
A creepy owl doll monster?
Yeah. So really interestingly, I'm looking at the cast list and they list the cherub as Perkta the cherub, which we talked about Perkta in the episode with Michelle Nicolaisen.
Oh, yeah, the German god.
Yeah.
Wow.
Interesting, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what the connection is necessarily there.
Right.
But I think it's a really interesting choice that they made to name the character that. It's not like they say the name.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it was a subplot that ended up getting cut for time.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Because
get that tight 90
because it does come back like a couple of times. But they're also attacked by a evil stuffed bear and a evil stabby robot, which all seem to have like burst out alien-like from the presents that she was wrapping earlier.
Yeah, it's extremely scary and bad.
One of the twins is shockingly not dead, even though we see the Jack-in-the-Box swallow them. I think in order to get into the vents, I'm not entirely sure about this, but in order to get into the vents of the house, I don't trust central air anymore. It seemed as though it regurgitated one of the twins.
I don't know.
In order to fit?
That guy Jonah and the whaled her or something.
Yeah, something like that. And because they know that the Jack-in-the-Box is in the central AC vents, they send the dog in there.
Oh,
Why would you do that?
No, she's so sweet and wore a hat.
Oh man, just don't kill the dog. It's the whole point of the movie.
But like shit is dark, Julia.
Yeah.
The dog dies, and then the parents very soon get sort of swallowed up by just the firmament outside.
Yes, we'll get to that in a moment. And that's when the elves arrive.
Ugh.
I really liked the elves because they just like no nonsense kind of just creepy guys in masks.
Yeah, that's true.
They put out the fire with some weird sparkler thing. I don't know how and why. They steal the baby.
They do.
They drag Dorothy, which is the Aunt Marge aunt, and the Jack-in-the-Box and Howard away. Interestingly, so the elves are wearing these masks that kind of resemble the classic Krampus look. So the demon-esque faces, the long lolling tongue, and the horns. So I was like, I appreciate that because they're trying to like emulate their master, which is cool. I'm into it.
No, it is. And we also don't get a great look at Krampus's face until the scene at the very end. So it's nice to see some of that imagery.
We see it when he faces down Omi in like a moment.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying is apart from that kind of one moment and then Max with him later, we don't really see a ton about his features.
Yeah. So Krampus arrives. The family tries to flee to the snowplow. Omi stays behind to sacrifice herself and to face Krampus one last time. Krampus appears out of the fireplace. He has the big old tongue.
Yep.
It's very long. It like licks
big old
Omi's
butterfly
face.
tongue. Yep.
He opens the bag that he has with him, and Omi is attacked by toys, and we are immediately cut to the next scene.
Yeah, I thought for sure there was going to be a tender moment, and he was going to give her, like, her doll back from the fire back then in the flashback. Nope, none of that. He just straight up consumes her, and it is extremely dark.
Yep, it's fucked up. The family nearly makes it to the truck, but is attacked by the snow beast that attacked Howard earlier. Tommy sends the family ahead and is taken by, like, sacrifices himself to the snow beast. All the adults are taken while the kids get into the snowplow, which won't start, of course.
Yeah, and, like, ripped away from them. It is so dark, Julia.
As they're trying to turn the key and, like, get the snowplow to start, it's really funny. Max says something along the lines of, I don't know how to drive stick. We have a hybrid.
Oh, man.
It's like, oh, that's so fucking dumb. I love it.
I know. And the poor babe is eventually left alone as the other two kids are ripped from either side of him.
Yeah, the elves attack and he's kind of left to himself. And Krampus faces Max, reveals the letter that summoned him, basically implies that Max is the example like Omi. But Max is like, nah, that doesn't sound good. I don't want to be an orphan like Omi was.
Yeah.
So he goes after his family and tries to save them.
Just fully go into the underworld now.
Yeah. He tries to, quote, take back his wish. He then throws the bell, which opens the portal to hell or the underworld.
Yeah, something like that.
Yes.
We also get the good look at Krampus here, and he looks very much like a Pirates of the Caribbean 3 character.
Mm-hmm.
Like, very much, add some barnacles, and he could definitely be, like, they might have, like, mapped on the same CGI, like, beard tentacles, because there was a lot of similarity there.
Did you see his good, creepy goat eyes?
No.
Oh, yeah, they had, like, the weird slits that goats do.
No. Oh,
yeah,
no.
I loved it. It was great.
I don't. The one thing I don't like about goats, thanks for finding it.
You're welcome. Max tells Krampus to take him instead, but Krampus just kind of, after a pause, laughs, and then throws Stevie into the underworld, and then Max as well.
Yeah.
We then cut to Max in his room, and it's Christmas Day.
It sure is, Jules.
Yeah.
It's all of a sudden, like, very dewy. Like, the camera, like you over enhance or like put on that one Snapchat filter. It's like very warmly lit and very dewy, and everyone's like, it's snowy outside, but there are people there.
Yeah. Downstairs, everyone is opening up gifts, and everyone's okay and back to normal. Max says it was all just a bad dream.
Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, classic nightmare. Love it, love it. Also, Dorothy has a classic line here that I fucking love, which is, I haven't felt this hungover since the Pope died. Julia, this whole movie was worth it just for that line.
It's very good.
We're getting an okay sign from Brandon in the back, our studio engineer.
Very
Thank you, Brandon.
And
people's favorite character, by the way, of Multitude now is Brandon in the background of other podcasts. It's great.
So it was all just a bad dream, except Max opens a gift, and it's the Krampus bell. Everyone seems to kind of remember what happened, but no one says anything.
I know.
And then the house is revealed to be in a snow globe along with a bunch of other houses.
Julia,
in
it's so fucked up.
In like Krampus's workshop or something like that.
We pan backwards. So like, I thought it was very well done when they all kind of looked at each other. Like Max took the bell out, everyone kind of turned to look at it, and then slowly they were all having that realization at the same time, and it was legitimately horrifying.
Yeah.
Then it pans backward and backward from like through the living room window to the house. We pan back, and I'm like, oh no, are they in a snow globe? We're in a bubble. This is horrifying. This is horrifying. And then it's even worse because they're in like a whole rack workshop of many other worlds like that.
Yes.
Bubble worlds, snow globe worlds, kids trying and daring to like wish for a more harmonious home life. What the fuck? I hate it. I hate it.
I love it.
I hate it.
It's very good.
No, it's very bad. I hate it.
And then there's a jump scare at the end of all the toys and stuff attacking, but
Yeah.
It would have been so much better if they just cut to black there, honestly, in my opinion.
I felt extremely much like I had taken mushrooms or like had an extremely bad trip accidentally of some kind.
Cool. I like that. I appreciate it.
So please, I thought this was, again, a very entertaining movie. The ending was horrible, and I would love to watch someone who doesn't know it watch it for the first time.
Yes.
Speaking of the gingerbread men and elves and the various assistants, what in the lore does Krampus, like, who is his posse? Who does he travel with?
So interestingly, Krampus is usually listed as a companion to St. Nicholas. So the fact that St. Nicholas, one, has his own squad.
Oh, yeah.
And then Krampus also has a squad, I think is a really cool parallel because Krampus is supposed to predate St. Nicholas in this version of the canon, which I think is really cool. And so I would assume that much like St. Nicholas has these companions that kind of help him out and do things, Krampus also has them, and they reflected that with the elves and the strange versions of toys that we see.
It makes sense. It's like the upside down world version of St. Nicholas and his, good elves and reindeer and whatnot.
Precisely. In terms of appearance, the Krampus is pretty accurate, all things considered. Usually he's hairier, I guess is a good way to describe it. Usually he's covered in like fur or hair, and it's either brown or black, so it's more goat-like.
Yeah.
But I really liked this version of Krampus where it was like human but twisted in a lot of ways. It's very much more the traditional version of Satan or Lucifer that we see, except more Nordic, I guess.
Yeah, like humanoid in a big robe with like big kind of scary antler horns.
Yeah. They also got the bells and chains down really well, too.
Remind me what those have to do with actual Krampus. He just like uses chains to chain up bad kids?
Yeah, basically. So he puts them in the sack, which we saw before.
Sure did.
And the versions depend on the region and stuff like that. So either he drowns them, just beats them with birch sticks in the sack, or steals them to the underworld.
Okay.
So, one of those things.
Listen, my dad drives around with like rope in his pickup truck, which I guess could seem very suspicious in case you have to like move some furniture or like you find a nice table on the side of the road and you want to like tie it to the bed of the pickup and like take it home. So I guess Krampus is just prepared all the time.
Very Harry and the Henderson style. I appreciate it. He also will sometimes eat them. We didn't get to see that so much. I mean, we saw it with the Jack in the Box, not Krampus specifically.
I mean, no one leaves cookies for Krampus.
No, that's
Maybe
why
that's
you
our
gotta
problem.
eat children.
Cookies for Krampus sounds like a high school fundraiser.
Yes, it
It
does.
really does.
God damn. So yeah, overall, pretty accurate portrayals of Krampus. Some liberties taken with the gingerbread men and the creepy toys and whatnot. But I think overall, definitely gets the point across, definitely has the terrifying versions of Krampus that people who grew up with this tradition know and love. And Toni Collette and Adam Scott did a great job.
Yeah, that's very true. And I sort of liked as we went along this idea that, the kind of spirit and malice of Krampus can like animate anything that it touches. Where I didn't know actually when they were in the attic if those malevolent toy assistants had come in with Krampus or if they were just like toys lying around that got animated. And I sort of like that because the idea is he just sort of like sweeps in like a bad wind, and just makes everything around him like weaponized and evil.
Yeah. No, I think the implication was when they brought in that sack of presents.
Right.
Those were like incubating.
Also, don't sign for packages that aren't yours, my dude.
Well, they didn't sign for it. It was already there. He made a reference. He's like,
oh, that's true.
Oh, that must have been the guys in brown. I was like,
Lol.
Well,
DHL product placement. So yeah, we got DHL, we got Hummer, we have a whole bunch of other ones.
I don't know if that's good product placement though, because he dies.
I have a friend who works on movies and tells me that when companies like are going to be, for example, in the background of like a street scene, like they're going to be a sign in a window, they just don't want like a murder to happen in front of their sign. Otherwise, everything else is okay. So this, I don't know.
That
the DHL guy dies.
Murder.
Yeah. Don't know.
Maybe it was just like, this guy worked real hard.
I was also wondering throughout this whole movie, like who, like this is the best that a lot of people could do. And I just don't know who championed this script, who was like, this is the one, this is what had to happen.
I want to see who directed it now.
Because like every movie about the commercialization of Christmas is ultimately commercializing Christmas.
Yeah.
That's the true snow globe. That's the true long pan back.
Yeah, that's true.
We're all in it, Julia. All of us.
It was Michael Dougherty who did, oh my God, he wrote fucking X2, the second X-Men movie. Also Superman Returns. He did, however, write and direct Trick or Treat, which is my favorite horror movie anthology.
Oh.
It's very, very good. It also features Anna Paquin as a werewolf who is going to do her first kill. But it's done all in the metaphor of like, ooh, you have to pick a guy to bring to this party. Ooh, it's gonna be your first time, but it's her first time doing a murder.
I love it.
It's very, very good. Oh, he also just did Godzilla King of Monsters, the one that just came out this year.
Interesting.
Good for you, bud. Proud of you. Brandon thought that was funny, and I appreciate it.
Hometown boy made good.
Yeah, so final thoughts on the movie Krampus.
I enjoyed the opportunity to revisit the Christmas season, not when it is being foisted upon me, but when I can dip in for a tight 90 and then go and enjoy my Christmas in July outside in the sun.
I didn't tell you the story of the first time I saw this movie.
Oh, no.
So we first saw this movie because Jake, for his town, would often do the like town haunted house. He would help run it and organize it and put it together and stuff like that. So the guy who was in charge of it, who worked for his town, really, really loved horror movie stuff and really was excited for this movie Krampus that was coming out. So he ended up renting an entire theater.
Oh, my.
And everyone who was involved in the haunted house that year, he bought tickets for, and we all went and saw it then.
Okay. I mean, with a haunted house crew, that's pretty good.
It was fun. Honestly, I was like, this movie isn't the best horror movie I've ever seen, but it's not terrible.
It's
and
fun.
I got to see it for free.
Aw.
So
I bet renting at a movie theater, it's not as cost prohibitive as we thought it was, as when we were kids.
Probably not. It's probably somewhat cheaper. You probably because you're doing bulk, you get discounted tickets or something like that. I imagine. I don't know. Who can
Discounts,
say?
the true spirit of Christmas.
Discounts are the true spirit of Christmas. Also, sacrifice of giving.
Yeah, so listen to your Omi. Remember, never let the fire go out. And above all else,
stay creepy.
Stay cool. Thank you to our sponsors. Skillshare, the online learning community for creators, is offering you 2 free months of Skillshare Premium at skillshare.com/spirits2. Calm is the #1 app to help you reduce anxiety and stress and sleep better. Get 25% off a Calm Premium subscription at calm.com/spirits. And Simple Contacts is the most convenient way to renew your contacts prescription online. Get $20 off your contacts at simplecontacts.com/spirits20 or use code spirits20 at checkout. Spirits was created by Amanda McLaughlin, Julia Shafini, and Eric Schneider, with music by Kevin MacLeod and visual design by Allison Wakeman.
Keep up with all things creepy and cool by following us at Spirits Podcast on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Tumblr. We also have all of our episode transcripts, guest appearances, and merch on our website, as well as a form to send us your urban legends at spiritspodcast.com.
Join our member community on Patreon, patreon.com/spiritspodcast, for all kinds of behind-the-scenes stuff. Just $1 gets you access to audio extras with so much more available too. Recipe cards, director's commentaries, exclusive merch, and real physical gifts.
We are a founding member of Multitude, a collective of independent audio professionals. If you like Spirits, you will love the other shows that live on our website at multitude.productions.
And above all else, if you liked what you heard today, please share us with your friends. That is the very best way to help us keep on growing.
Thank you so much for listening. Till next time.